You there! Rouse yourself! Get up! Get away!
Oh, what's your hurry, mister? I've nowhere to be going. By the looks, you ain't neither.
Show some respect, if not for yourself, then at least for your surroundings.
What, him? Some old codger probably greased the right palms and lined his pockets, like all them bigwig boys.
That, sir, is me, and I'll thank you to control your intemperate tongue.
John Laird. I know that name. I know you, John Laird. Mr. Laird, apologies. I didn't recognise you over there. Daft of me it was, you being the founder of the town.
It's true. I have enjoyed a certain celebrity. My dear father, my family and I built this town. My sons opened this town hall, made of it a model for the world. Even this fine square is named after my grandmother Hamilton, you know.
Very grand it is, sir. Me and mine worked hard to build this town too in my time. In our time. In your docks, as a matter of fact. Of course, in them days you would have had to keep your distance from the likes of me. Strange how it works out. You've got yourself a statue, and no one remembers young George Winterbottom. Even as though we both ended up in the same place after all.
When my father, William, first arrived here from Scotland, this place was a wilderness. Little had changed for 700 years since the priory was founded. It was woodland then, a headland of birch trees. That was Birkenhead.
Things too, as you might not like so much. The ship with no name they floated into the river back in 1862 in high secrecy, and later turned up as the Alabama, helping the Confederate side in the American Civil War, fighting for conditions of slavery under the whip, while many of us was made slaves for wages.
I'd left the business for Parliament by then as first member for Birkenhead.
You had a good price for her, did you?
What do you say? Have you no thought for the good we did here, for the advancements we brought to this town?
And for yourself, no doubt.
You ignorant, ungrateful lout. We built schools here, a hospital, the library, houses for the workers. Follow me now, follow me, I'll show you.
Lead on, Mr. Laird. I've nowhere else to be, and I was born to follow the likes of you.
Now you have to imagine how wild and desolate it all was. Wallasey Pool over there provided a natural inlet, you see, lying between Seacombe and Woodside. A perfect lane for ships with deep water and good shelter.
Perfect for the docks. I worked hard down there building them docks.
Ah, the docks, yes, that's what I'm saying. We had a plan to cut a canal from the Dee. We had Telford and Stevenson, great men, fine engineers.
Greedy too, as I remember. All kinds of skullduggery and double-dealing.
Ah, there were problems, that's true. Liverpool was unnerved by our end.
And then the storm. That terrible storm in '54. The dam burst and flooded the workings in the Great Float. 3 years of back-breaking work sunk in a night.
Bad days. Bad days indeed.
It did for me, did that. I couldn't go back. I went to work for Brassey. Thomas Brassey at the Canada Works, standing there looking out over the Great Float. What a place that were. 1,200 men in work. With your skill you could come out with better than £1 a week. Built railways all over Britain and France. And Canada. That was a big one. 540 miles from Quebec to Lake Huron. Up and down mountains, through the forests, then clear across the St. Lawrence River. Everything built right here in Birkenhead and then shipped away.
Grand days, George. The whole world looked to us then.
In the Crimea. All the lads suffering through the Russian winter at Sevastopol. We built them a railway in record time, sailed it out there. Within 6 weeks it were taking them clothes to wear and bullets to fire.
That's my point. Tell me, George, how would all that have been possible without our vision and our labours? When the Docks and Harbour Company started in 1858, everything seemed possible. A new cutting into Alfred Dock, an extension to Morpeth, and at last water into the Great Float in 1860. Then Hartley built his hydraulic tower to give us water power to work with.
It's powerful, all right. No doubt about that. When they switched the sluices on, the water came rushing through, bashing up ships in the float and ripping them from their moorings.
That was the end of the Lower Basin scheme for sure. It became the Wallasey Dock later, you know. We'd moved the business into the new shipyard by then and built the first ship of steel. The Ma Robert, they called her, built for Dr. Livingstone's expedition to the Great Zambezi River of Africa. These were great achievements that changed everything. Forever.
Maybe. The world went on to make its own decisions without us anyway. When did you die, sir?
In 1874, sadly before my time. They gave me a good send-off. Flags at half-mast. A cortege paraded round this very square. More than 1,500 workers walked behind. I'd made my mark. How many turned out for you?
Just the three of them. A simple service up at Flybrick. No fuss like.
We all played our part, George. We all played our part.
Right enough. There's no shame in a life of labour, even if I didn't personally change the world. I don't know though. Sometimes it all seemed too much. Too fast for the likes of me. And what's changed now? Ships gone. Warehouses gone. Jobs gone. What were we rushing for? Always dodging the hard questions, eh, Mr. Laird? I don't know. It's beyond me anyhow, all this progress. A bit of marsh and a headland of birch trees. What were we rushing for?